Hi, my dear students. Today, inshallah, we will take the chapter 6 in Wuthering Height. Heathcliff decides to be good. In this chapter, as you know from the dress and from the title from the chapter, we will meet Heathcliff on the new shape. He wants to make himself a decent boy and change his appearance. Okay, Mrs. Dean continued to speak. Catherine remained at Thrushcross Grange for 5 weeks while her uncle healed. So, after the accident of the dog, she healed and she came back after 5 weeks. During this time, she learned how to dress, to behave, and more like a lady. And when she returned home at Christmas, she surprised us all with her lovely gown that's been dressed and proper speech. And on the other hand, Heathcliff grown more dirtier and darker than ever before, and he rarely washed himself, his clothes, or his hair. His hair and was undamaged and like untidy and long, tangled, and he started to be like awful person. Catherine asked here, "Where is Heathcliff?" Hindley called for him to join them. He shouted, "Heathcliff, you may come and welcome Catherine home like other servants." Here, Hindley treated Heathcliff as a servant. Okay, Catherine saw him hide, so he was hiding. So she rushed to him, and she had missed him and wanted nothing more than to hug and kiss him many over and many times over. She laughed and said, "Look how dirty you are." She then compared him to Linton's and to Edgar. So Linton's and told him Isabella and Edgar were much cleaner. Hindley teased him and Heathcliff tried to run away, but Catherine held him because her intention had not been to hurt him. So she just was trying to laugh, not just making like kidding of him. Okay, "I didn't mean to laugh at you," she said. "I couldn't help myself. It was only because you looked odd, and if you wash your face and comb your hair, you'll be fine." So she's trying to fix Heathcliff. Heathcliff shouted, "You didn't know! You didn't have to touch me!" He ran from the room, but unfortunately, everybody except Catherine thought it was very funny and laughed at him. As master of Wuthering Heights, Hindley invited the Lintons to the house for an neighborly visit the next day. He wanted to thank them for looking after Catherine and offer them some presents for all they had done. Mrs. Linton agreed to come, but only if her children were kept away from that dirty, naughty boy. So their condition to come that Heathcliff wasn't attend and not being from the people who attend the party. She wanted her children have no exposure to like Heathcliff. Mrs. Dean continued, "I spent the rest of the day preparing everything for the visit. I swept the floor, shined the utensil, and polished the clock, and arranged the mug for the alley. The guests would be served." Henley wanted things to be well suited for the neighbors. He wanted to be equal at them and more prepared for himself for the party. As I worked, I remembered how Hindley's father, old Mr. Earnshaw, was so fond of Heathcliff, and how awful Heathcliff's situation was now. I was amazed how things can change, and I wished there was something I can do. She wanted to help him, okay? I went outside and found Heathcliff brushing one of the ponies. Come inside, I said. Henley is not home. I will clean you and make you change a be nicely person. He ignored me and continued brushing the pony, the little dog. Are you coming? I asked. I have some little cakes for you as well. I waited for 5 minutes. So who's speaking? Yes, absolutely yes. So here Mrs. Dean is speaking. I waited for 5 minutes, but she refused to say anything. He refused to say anything, so I returned to the house. Catherine ate with her brother, sister-in-law, and I ate silently meal with Joseph, the servant, in the kitchen. The next morning, Heathcliff awake early and went out onto the moors. He is like preparing himself for being absent from the party. He returned only after the family went to the church, and it was evident that he had been thinking deeply. Nelly, he said, make me decent. I'm going to be good. Excellent, I said. So here Heathcliff came to Mrs. Dean or Nelly and asked her to make him decent. You made Catherine very unhappy last night, and she cried sadly. This morning, when I told her that you had gone out onto the moors, he asked if she had grieved, feel sadness about him, and when I replied that she had been so sad, he responded with, I cried more than she did. I told him that because you want to be proud and hungry. So, and proud people always make sorrow for themselves and others. If you are sorry, you should tell her. But first, I'll clean you and dress you so that you can even better than Edgar Linton. You are younger and taller and stronger, and I'm sure you could knock him down in an instant. Heathcliff smiled as he was pleased by coming by. Then he signed, if I knocked him here we have a comment. If I knocked him down 20 times, it won't make him less handsome or me more handsome than him. So, if I knocked him down, I will not be pretty and handsome boy more than him. Okay? He said. So he's clearly speaking. I wish I had blonde hair and fair skin. I wish I was rich, and he will be. I added, and cry your mother, and be afraid of the rain, and run away from even Polly. I told him, look in the mirror, look at your eyes. They look unfriendly and suspicious of everyone. Heathcliff said, wishing for Edgar's eyes won't help. A good hurt will improve your face. With my advice, so was my diet. This was her advice, okay? When you are clean and well groomed and you have combed your hair, you will resemble a prince. You'll be like a prince. I'm certain father, perhaps your father was the king of China and your mother was the queen of India and you were the victim of kidnapping. Perhaps a sailor brought you to England. Heathcliff's spirits began bitter and he began to cheerful and began to feel very happiness. Okay, keep him out of the room, he demanded to Joseph. He will put his fingers in the cake and steal the fruit. Lock him in the attic. See how long his hair is. I will pull it and make it longer. Edgar arrived just then. I joined the joking, okay? He to make a joke about Heathcliff's hair and long hair. Heathcliff's eyes bowl in a hot soup, so he threw the bowl of the hot soup upon Edgar's face. Edgar screamed. Henley picked up Heathcliff and carried him out of Catherine and Isabella rushed into the kitchen. They were afraid of him, okay? Catherine admonished Edgar. She said the visit had been spoiled, and Heathcliff would be punished harshly. Catherine said, "You shouldn't have spoke to him." "I didn't answer." So he said, "I didn't answer Edgar. I promised mother that I will not say one word to him, and I didn't." "Well, don't cry," Catherine said. "And you stop crying too, Isabella. Okay?" So Catherine is speaking to Isabella and to Edgar. Okay? When Hindley returned to the kitchen, everyone adjourned to the next room for dinner. Okay, they went to the next room for dinner. Mrs. Dean continued speaking after dinner was completed. There was a dance and some joyful singing for Christmas. A wonderful band that often went to a house, okay? Went house to house playing music. During this time, I saw Catherine sneak upstairs to talk to Heathcliff, okay, who had been banned from or to the attic. She brought him down to the kitchen. I offered him some food and he didn't eat much. He was focused on planning to take his revenge from Hindley. Here, Mrs. Dean stopped her story, and at this point, "It's 11 o'clock," she said. "You must tired at this story." I was enthused, though, he was her to talk, okay? "No, no, 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 no," I said. "Please continue." She offered the option of making a story shorter by skipping and make it fewer over a few years. But I asked her to continue in details because I wanted to know everything. "Well, then," she said, "I must return to my story. The very next summer of 1778, which is nearly 23 years ago." Okay, so we have the end of the chapter. Until next time, please revise and reread the chapter and check the question on the pamphlet. See you next time. Bye.